Maita Basa, thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of Chat. Today we have an amazing Anyango, a concept shop owner all the way from Kenya. And she's going to talk to us about how collaboration can help us build and grow sustainable businesses in Africa. Maita Basa, and thank you for joining us. Queen Anyango, thank you so much for coming to the chat series.
You're welcome.
Super excited to have you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say one, all our guests, and I want to say one particular thing. I dropped this dress to show these shoulders so I can show you some of this woman's amazing craft. These earrings I bought when I was in Kenya from Zante Adede, and this ring. So I just want to say thank you so much for making us look so fabulous.
You're the queen.
And
we are the future.
I'm telling you, this is the future. Africa is the future.
Absolutely. Do not doubt that for a moment.
Oh my gosh. Let's start it right there. Tell us about the future of Africa, Queen. Tell us.
I believe most of them, we have taken for granted what we have for a very long time. Most of the time, we're not able to express our culture, our emotions, our day-to-day activities in what we wear as a day. Because on daily routines, you're told you have to have a certain look to look professional. You can't go bald. You can't have your afro. You can't wear your earrings bold because, thank you. You cannot be colorful. We are color inspired. Our cultures, we're different, but somehow we toe the line of color, boldness, and uniqueness. So why can't we have the same look going to the office? Why can't I have my afro going to the office? I mean, we need to change the narrative one person at a time. Like, embrace what African designers have, collaborate, and make it bigger. We need to work we need to have our versions of the big five. Today we have Fashion Week in Zim. The next month, we have a Fashion Week in Kenya, and we all collaborate as designers. I mean,
Queen, listen.
Don't we have what it takes? Yeah.
Queen, listen when I say you're about to blow this thing up. We need to change the narrative. You have just said so many fundamental things. I'm blowing up, literally blowing up, because you know I'm excitable.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about a few things. Number one, we need to change our narrative. I want to challenge you a little bit about that. Whether we need to change our narrative or we need to write our narrative. Right. You talk about how people tell us what to wear. What is corporate wear? How should I show up in an office? What should I wear? Why should I wear black? Why should I wear white? Why should I wear brown? Why should I wear purple? Why can't I rock up in an office with this garment, with my earrings, and be appreciated? Who built that narrative, Queen? Who built that narrative?
We live in a state of mental slavery.
Ooh.
Like, when you go to school, you're told, this is the corporate look.
Ooh.
But I don't know who brought up the corporate look.
Ooh.
Was there an African woman? Was there an Afro woman to express her body, her curves, her hair? You know, who decided that your hair has to be pinned back? Who decided you can't go bald?
Ooh. 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 Who decided that you can't wear color to the office?
Exactly. Who decided? I need to see one Afro-centric woman who was in that panel who said, you know what, girls, your hair has to be straightened. You cannot come with your hard, kinky hair. At the end of the day, the brains matter, not the hair. You cannot tell us, I mean, you have to have a certain look to be productive in the corporate world.
Look, I'm all with that. And I'm sitting here uniquely glowing in this that
You're amazing,
who
fabulous.
has decided what corporate looks like. I mean, we live in Africa where we can wear color. Generally, I think one of the things that we have a misconception about in Sweden, in the colder regions, they wear black because it's cold.
Exactly.
I want to know why we wear black to corporate. Why do we wear a tie? They wear a tie as a means to keep themselves warm. Why do we wear a tie in this amazing climate? Like, hey, look, I'm not judging you, but I gotta show you my earrings. I am not
well,
you.
I'm
not judging. I just want to know who decided this. Who decided this?
We basically don't know who decided, but we need to start changing and writing a different story, a different corporate look that incorporates the curves we have, the love for color, our cultures. As in, we need to speak out boldly about. I've seen incidences whereby a lot of Kenyan-inspired designs are on the runway, and they get absorbed in there like we don't exist. No mention whatsoever of the origins.
Slay me, like fry me. I am baked. Fry me. We do not exist. Now, Queen, tell me, what are you doing to ensure we start existing? How are you writing this new narrative? What are you doing in your space?
The reason why I decided to work with different designers, I opened up a shop at an app marketplace whereby different designers get to showcase their products and rent out space and put up together a corporate look that is more African inspired. So that has been working very well. And I would like it to spread across Africa as the gospel that we have something as Africans. We need to speak it in our day-to-day activities. We can't lose who we are. And let's say today I wear a Nigerian suit, designer suit to work. Then I wear a South African jewelry to work. Like it's a combination. I speak one word, I speak one language, which is Africa, a united front. Yeah.
Tell us.
So why do I have to carry a Louis Vuitton bag or a Gucci?
When I can carry,
we have brands.
So many other local inspired brands. I mean, what is it? What really is it? You know, someone is saying here, Rumbi says, I don't wear black in boardrooms, in board meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm always asked if I also wear color in bed. What?
Yes. Why not?
That? I mean, I'm sitting here and thinking, you have brought up such a fundamental point. You know, a point that most people overlook, that we are perhaps operating under mental slavery. Because we consistently think if I wear the blackest suit, the grayest suit, the whitest shirt, I am more professional than the person
and toned
who
down.
This. I love it. I love it. So you're saying, tell me more, the concept shop that is named Zanta, right?
Yes. Excuse me.
The concept shop is trying to push that narrative that how to create corporate looks, more professional looks that are inspired by the African spirit, the African region, the African people, and the Africanness in us. Is this just about what you're doing at the concept shop?
Yes.
Wow.
And my idea is not to work with only Kenyan designers. I would like to grow to be a concept that is acceptable globally. Like you would go to Europe and pop up with your color and they accept you for who you are. I mean, you do not have to change and be what they have written, their rules. We also have what we, like our seasons are basically rainy, sunny, cloudy, you know.
Yeah.
So when we're in Africa, we don't do the four seasons like Europe. So why can't we leave it up in Africa? Like when it is sunny, we go all sunny in sunny suits and all that. You don't have to have that mentality that too much color is destructive. Who said that?
Who said that? I mean, come on, get out of here. You know, I mean, who said that? I mean, I really, really love this. And what I do love is you are really opening up a new realm of conversation. And one of the things I want to know is how can we do this? You know, people talk about changing the narrative. I think if I use the word one more time, I just might faint. We need to change the narrative. We need to change the narrative. And I always ask, but how do we change a narrative? Can you tell me how you are working to change the narrative?
Mostly I engage corporate companies and corporate ladies, and I actually work with everybody. So whenever you want to change your look, we get you a stylist and they come and put up a look for you from the shop in terms of jewelry. Oh, I need to show you my bag. Okay. So this is my laptop bag. It has color. Let me open it inside so you can have a view. Like it has padding and all that.
Ooh la la. Is that, hold on. Show me the front. I think I saw beading on the front. Show me the front.
Yes, it has beading. It has color. That is beading.
Oh gosh.
So this is one of my laptop bags. I have two. This is the other one.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So you don't have to go to the office looking all boring. I mean, walking in with your African inspired bag with color. And when I travel abroad, I actually use them. So somebody will look at you like,
when you travel abroad with your color and your bags and your beautiful self, don't people stop to ask? Like
they stare. They actually stare like, really? I'm like, hi.
Like seriously, like how stunning can you be? And you know, when I used to travel for work with my corporate students, back in the days when we did corporate, and you were just one of the numbers. You were just one of them, you know? But all of a sudden, when I started embracing, when I got on this journey where I said, you know, I am only going to wear African-inspired stuff, when I got on the journey, I was so rich.
It's different.
I was so rich.
It's very different.
And this is how I have been building networks. Because everywhere I go, everyone wants to know, where are you from?
I actually, when we met, I was looking at you and said, oh, damn, this woman is beautiful.
Don't give me wings, oh.
It's true. It's true.
Don't give me
it's very
wings.
True.
No, it was amazing. We never talked about where we met. We, you know, Zanta and I, Anyango, met at a fashionomics masterclass that was hosted in Kenya by the African Development Bank. So they've got this whole thrive and drive where they're trying to build the SME sector in the fashion sector of Africa. And they're holding these masterclasses in different spaces. And this is where I met. Now, let me tell you how I met her, how I saw her. She walked into the room. This woman is a tall glass of milk, chocolate at its best. She walked into the rooms rocking these earrings, tall as she is, with her blonde short hair. And I was like, Mama, we have made it. Africa is here. It is time for Africa. Amen. And that's how I met. And I went to her and I said, I want to buy those earrings. And she said, but I don't have a pair today. I was like, I will wait for the pair tomorrow. I want to buy those earrings. And tomorrow I bought these earrings and 3 others. So that's how I met Zanta and why I thought it was so important to have a talk with her. Now, Zanta, tell me a bit more about how it's important for us to open up new spaces and new opportunities for our creative sector.
My belief is that I cannot grow alone as an individual. Okay. I can make moves, but I would never want to grow alone as an individual. We are a pack. If we work together, because when I am selling my bag and I'm selling the jewelry, the clothes person needs to sell the clothes as well. The person who makes shoes needs to sell her shoes as well. So when we present a united front, it could be an entire look that incorporates 4 countries.
Right.
And if you get that under one roof, let's say we have a store in Kampala, we have a store in South Africa, we have a store in Zimbabwe, we have a store in Ethiopia, that you can have a certain look that is a combination of different designers. Then we grow, because economically we are able to sell and we are able to create an impact and a look that you want to live forever. We want our children to grow up being proud of being women of color. We want them that in their everyday look at work, they incorporate history and culture and upbringing, because most of the clothes we wear have stories behind them. Most of the jewelry we wear have stories behind them. Who will tell those stories? Who will speak about?
Tell those stories. And
yes,
this is, I think Chimamanda has said this over and over again, but I believe that the Africans are beginning to believe it, and we are beginning to tell our own stories.
Exactly.
Who is going to tell the danger? There's a danger in a single story, right? And the problem that I have had and I've understood, you know, is we want to tell a story and immediately get an audience. Nah, China, it does not work that way. So when you're introducing a new narrative, or if you're introducing a narrative, you are not going to get an immediate audience. What do you think about that?
We can't give up. We will not give up. It is not going to be easy. It was never meant to be easy, because we are trying to build something that was already eroding, something that is gone. But we are bringing it back. I cannot say 10 years ago, a bold African look would be acceptable.
Jeez, girl.
But right now, you walk in your entire melanin and feel zero.
Girl, let me tell
you. I am here. This is where I am.
Girl, boo, you know, let me tell you, my mother still struggles with this. My mother, every time I cut my hair, my mother asks me why. Because my hair grows really well and I get nice. And she asks me why. And it bothers me all the time because I never have a polite way to respond to her. But look, this is what I want, Mama. I don't understand it. So I think it's part of the, and I went from 0 to 100, by the way. I used to have those long weaves, curly, big hair, right? And when I woke up, no hair. So people struggle with it, eh? People struggle.
My mother also struggled with my, I didn't tell her I've cut my hair. I just drove into her compound and she was like, what happened to you? What is it?
Please.
Are you stressed or something? Why is your hair white? I'm like, oh
my,
it's my new look. So basically, I think even like when I took my daughter, I have a daughter, she's 16. So I took her for her first year in school. Then a male teacher told me, she can't come into school with that mane. I asked her, oh, why? She needs to straighten the hair.
No, no, stop. Calm
why?
Down. Calm.
Yes.
What?
Yes. She said.
This narrative must, you know, we are owning the narrative and pushing the boundaries, or we're not changing the narrative. I don't, you know, I actually say to people, you can't be on the edge and change a narrative. You need to be beyond the edge to change a narrative. Now, I am very hopeful that this will change for Africa, but I want to hear a bit about what is your hope for Africa? What is your hope for Kenya? Particularly when you look at the creative sector, what do you think we can actually attain? What is what is that big thing that, if all things being equal, and you were asked, what is it that you want? What is your one wish for us?
I believe if we work together as creatives, we are able to create opportunities for ourselves. We can speak one voice and speak the same language. It could be a French-speaking country, an Arabic-speaking country, but when we speak the same language, this is who we are, this is what we represent, and this is the quality. And quality is very key.
Right.
You cannot go and keep singing, we made in Africa, we are presenting our cultures. We need to step our game up, like up here. Whatever you're presenting to the world as African must be top notch. You cannot do a shoddy job and expect people to buy.
Quality.
Put value on yourself.
Yes.
Quality, very key. You cannot come and display a cloth in the store that has unfinished ends, bad quality of fabric. You need to be bold in what you're presenting. Like I can stand like this and tell you, my jewelry is this dollars. And I bring out a very poorly finished product. I don't expect you to pay for that. You don't expect to pay a lot of money for quality that is compromised. So we must present to the world what we have in good quality.
Ooh, girl.
Don't bring anything shoddy to the front.
Girl, listen, no half step here. And I'm all for it. I'm all for quality over quantity. And I just want to challenge you a bit further, because I think you're leaning on safety ground here. Tell me a little bit about this whole let's work together. Because you know what? I've heard it so many times. It's almost like that song by I think it's I forget, somebody Anderson. Pamela Anderson, I know Pamela Anderson. She talks about, I've heard it all before, all of your lies, all of your whatever. Moral of what I'm saying is, the question is, how can we work together? Can I have, what is your formula? How can I work with someone from Zimbabwe or South Africa or from Nigeria when we generally don't trust each other? How can we work together?
In this path, I need to tell you the truth.
Okay.
It has not been easy.
Ooh, tell me.
Because it will not be easy to lead leaders. Creatives are very aggressive and bold, and they are aware of what they want. And sometimes when you want to tell a creative, look here, this is not the standards we expect, it doesn't come out very nicely. So probability of a friction is there, like any other field. So what we need to do is encourage open platforms and discussions. So we are able to teach each other what path to take in terms of quality and in terms of customer satisfaction. It is not easy. I repeat, it is not easy. It will not be easy to deal with creatives.
Is a nightmare.
They're very opinionated and entitled, and they know where they're going, which is perfect. Because that is what we need to present to the world. So we need to have...
So hold on, I want to understand this. You're telling me that for us to work together, right?
Yeah.
We need to be bold. Because creatives generally, you're saying, are aggressive, right? Yeah. I want to know, I mean, I still think you're flirting with my answer here. What have you done to overcome this sense of boldness, to overcome this idea of creatives don't want to be led? What have you done? Lady, you have a shop with 6 other brands. What have you done? Tell us that.
I've
Yes.
had to be very tough because the management of the village market gave me the opportunity and told me, look here, we think your brand is premium. And I told them, I cannot grow alone as a person. That is selfish. I would like to grow with other brands that I think meet my. They said, okay, so which brands are you working with? I brought a bunch of designers. They came. The head of marketing told me, this is trash.
Oh, girl. What?
This is trash. This is clutter. We are not doing this. And remember, I've paid for rent by that time. And I've brought in the designers back to the drawing board. So she tells me, listen, I believe you have the potential. Your idea is perfect, but you need to work harder. I need a display that is premium. You've been to Europe. You know what a display looks like. You don't clutter things all over and you have everything on display. You cannot work like that.
Girl, we have seen your shop. We have seen your shop. It's like a breath of fresh air. Well, freaking done. Well done. Well done. So you're telling me about being tough, right? And you're saying if we are going to work together, we need to be tough with each other. You know, one of the things that I struggle with working with each other, I don't know. Generally, culturally, I'm not sure what happens in Africa, in Kenya, but in a setting like Zimbabwe, culturally, we are not cultured to tell each other the truth in our faces. So, you know, if I don't like something, I can't go and tell you, nah, this is not acceptable. So we beat about the bush and this bush and that bush. Do you think that that culture of being overly polite and tolerant is harmful to the way we do business?
I'll tell you one thing. I did that way. I was working that way.
Right.
I had a shop at the same place. Right. But then it was called Creatives Hub. So everybody would bring things, like pile up stuff on display. Right. I never used to talk. I was just quiet. And one of the designers told me, you're quite timid. I said, I need an environment where everybody is free. But this environment became a problem because one day somebody wakes up and thinks, I can make chairs. They'll bring chairs and put them on display. So the shop ends up looking like a marketplace.
Right.
And cheapens products visibility. So when I met the management and told me this is the look we want, they put a white tape on the window for 2 weeks. Told me, lady, put your house in order. We can't work like this. So it was back to design and display, and simplicity was very key. So that's how we got it right. Of course, some fell off. They said they cannot go into new production and all that. So it wasn't a very easy decision to make because most of these people are people I've worked with, and I still work with them because I know we will still work together.
Girl,
so it was
you're out here talking about, I'm sorry for cutting you. I'm just really kind of, I have a sense of appreciation for people's experience. I think there is so much value in hearing what other people have gone through and how they've overcome it. And what issue you're talking about with your setting up your concept shop was one, the issue of being really tough and frank, and also that endurance, you know, that understanding that Rome was not built in a day. Like that, I am going to do it no matter what, but I'm going to get there. I've got a plan. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, we're fast running out of time, and I really want to appreciate on our panel, listen to me. Everyone who's watching, big shout out, keep the questions coming. Someone was saying, talking about earlier, that she's very frank with people, but it's not very easy, so she doesn't have many friends. But I want to ask you for your parting words for
Yeah.
the African who's watching, the European who's watching,
Mm-hmm.
the American who's
Mm-hmm.
watching. What is
Mm-hmm.
your hope? What is your hope plug for us?
We as in Africa, we are organic creatives. We believe in whatever we create, it is a story of who we are. And sometimes our stories are different based on countries, based on tribes, based on age, but all this is incorporated in everyday look. So the best we can do is have discussions and projects that steer us towards the front. We are a global fashion house. Like, how many things do you see on the runway that are inspired by Africa? Can't we do
Enough.
that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we are a powerhouse. We must shift this idea of I need to wear a Louis Vuitton to feel I am complete.
Oh, girl.
I need to know a brand in Zimbabwe. It's nearer to me. I
Preach.
need to know a brand. I actually, when I go to Europe, I do not wear anything apart from African designers, mostly Kenyans. Every single day, I wear a Kenyan designer.
Preach, girl, preach.
When I come back home, it is the same story. So
people don't
I cannot.
They don't get
Yes.
to go where made in Africa product.
Yeah.
Girl, I am with you. Look at me. I'm wearing this dress made by C.H.A.T brand.
I see you. I see you.
This print is Angolan. This is from Angola.
Uh-huh.
Check out my ears correctly because these are made by Zanta. Do you know her? I wear jewelry made in Africa. And by the way, I am a child of Africa. So that really kind of brings this looks all together. Look, Zanta, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I want to go, but I really like this whole new sense of let's keep time as Africans. Let's be polite on your audience. You have been absolutely great. Do you have any questions for your audience? Do you have anything else you want to say before we say our great goodbyes?
My dream.
Yes, please tell us. I want to hear.
My dream is to have a Zanta store. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to be across Africa and ensure, well, I wish we could have each and every African brand in one store, but I am hoping that we'll have several more stores with, what happens normally is that a designer goes to stock at someone else who does not understand your story, then puts up a margin on your products. I don't want that. All we need to do is work on getting space, sharing space, get your money, bring more quality products. Take it to another country. Like, we have to have an exchange program. We have a store in Kampala. It has Kenyan products. It has Angolan products. It has Nigerian products. Like, we are currently working with somebody from Nigeria. So once the situation normalizes, she should be able to stock up at Zanta.
Oh my God.
So I could also stock up at her place in Nigeria. So we need to have an exchange program and be honest with each other. What kills us is lack of transparency.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Look.
So my dream is to have African brands across all African malls. Bold, beautiful, and well-defined.
I will share in that dream, and I believe in the power of numbers. It is a beautiful, beautiful story.
Yes.
Every store, in every place we walk into, is just made in Africa product. Oh my goodness. Do you?
Yes.
I want to say that the reason why we started the chat series, I want to talk a bit about that to the audience as well as to yourself, is I always believed the missing element in our narrative is the hope plug. I feel like we do not tell enough give enough of our dreams, talk about the hope we have, because hope is a living, breathing thing that needs to be sustained. You cannot be hopeful until you understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
So me talking, besides it coming very natural, I'm a naturally talkative being. Talking comes natural, but importantly, talking hopefully requiring this energy that we can do it. For me to tell my children that they can do it requires them understanding that there is hope, that they'll finish the race. And we need the stories of hope that are coming from the ordinary African, African who is doing the most to create a space where we create employment, to create a space where we tell a different narrative. So this is what I want to talk to every being that I've met on the African continent. And to my advantage, I've had advantage to travel quite extensively in Africa. These are the stories that I think will reignite our hope. And I hope that people will listen and listen more intently. So guys, we have reached the end of our beautiful dialogue with the beautiful Anyango. We can't wait to hear more about your store. Please tag us on your stuff as you develop.
I will. I will.
Please let us believe that there is hope in the creative sector. I forgot to ask one fundamental question. Sissy, are you making money? Are you making money?
There is money. There is money.
Are you making
money? I actually made money from you, didn't I?
You made money from me, ne? Yo, Sissy, you made money from me. So guys, this is not a joke. This woman, I think probably sold $200, $300 worth of jewelry in one session. $300 US over a day selling these gorgeous earrings and this amazing rings. So I need to sign up because I told you about how I talk too much.
Let me tell you one thing. Your energy, you are a ball of energy no one can avoid.
Oh my God. I'm doing that. Okay, guys.
Positivity to the core. So if you infect everybody with the same energy, we are going places as Africa.
No, we are going places. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Tune in next week, same time, same place. Zanta will love you. Asante sana. Ndamba kudzwa akaonekwa nembonje pabu